Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a sim for my 100 baby challenge. Our sim actually lives in Sulani and I'm actually going to be doing this 100 baby challenge in Sulani. So it was kind of important for me to make a sim that kind of looked like a native. If not a native to Sulani, I kind of wanted her to look like she had some type of indigenous roots. In my mind, I don't feel like she grew up and lived in Sulani her entire life, but she does have ancestry that brings her back to Sulani. I don't consider myself the best when it comes to create a sim. Of course, there are other simmers that are way better at create a sim than me, and they can literally make people that look like real life people. What I kind of do is I just use some of the presets that are already in game, and then I just use the slider and kind of manipulate them into being or looking the way that I want them to look. I like sims that kind of look like real life people where there's not really, unless they're like twins or something, like most people don't look the same. And for me, it's important that when I'm playing the sims that I don't play with sims that look exactly the same. Like I like playing with sims that come from different and diverse backgrounds. Sometimes I even play with sims that I can't relate to at all just for the fun of it. But by the time I finished my sim here, she actually ended up looking like this YouTuber that I watched. Her name is Hitomi. I can't remember her last name, but I don't know. She kind of reminds me of her for some reason. It might be like the hair because I did use one of the new free updated hairs that came. I think it came around the time the Horse Ranch pack came out. I also gave her some freckles on her face and also on her shoulders because she spends a lot of time out in the sun, especially in our challenge that we'll be doing together. And so what you'll see in the first episode is basically we're going to be stranded on the island. We're living off the grid. I'm starting her with 0 simoleons, and she just has this desire to have as many children as possible. I don't know if I'm going to get to 100 babies with her, maybe in 2 generations or so, but she just has this desire to be a mom and be nurturing and, grow a farm. I feel like she's also like the type of sim that is very natural. She doesn't have to be vegan or vegetarian, but she definitely believes that, she wants to grow her own food or catch her own food because she'll do a lot of fishing and stuff, especially with the little net. It's not a net, but it's like a basket that they can put in the water, and she can catch fish that way. And of course she'll be selling it because it's kind of like a rags to riches, but the main focus is having as many children as possible. I just feel like she kind of lives a more alternative lifestyle than most people, so I don't feel like she'll have a problem with living off grid or being connected to nature in that way. And I also believe in my mind that she doesn't really believe in monogamy, and she doesn't believe, I don't think she's non-committal. It's just the fact that she doesn't necessarily believe that she has to be committed to one partner for the rest of her life. So that's going to explain why she wants to have as many children as possible, because for her, her goal is to just be a mom and be nurturing, but she doesn't necessarily feel like she has to be tied down to one partner to do so. I'm kind of debating whether or not if I'm going to follow the strict rules. I highly doubt it because I don't really want to treat it like a challenge per se. I kind of just want to play the game with the story that I've created for the sim in mind, and just have as many children as possible. So I don't know if I'm going to follow, I am going to follow certain rules, but I know for one of them where it says you can't, procreate with more, once you get pregnant by one male sim or whatever sim you have a baby by, you're not supposed to get pregnant by them again. I don't know if I'm going to follow that rule. I'm going to just going to see things out. Of course, I'm not going to do any money cheats or anything like that. One of the rules for the 100 baby challenge is that she cannot get a job, and I will be following that rule. She'll most likely be making money by selling fish or selling seashells that she collects. She'll probably also start a garden, and we'll bring in some more simoleons that way. And then we'll just find other ways that she can create more income as we go along. I am creating additional rules for myself, as in because she's living off the grid on a secluded island. I'm going to try to commit to the rule that she cannot leave her lot until she saves up enough simoleons to buy the little canoe that came with island living, and then she can leave off of her lot and go find more baby daddies. But until she's able to save up to afford a canoe, she has to find her potential baby daddies by looking around her environment. I think I kept her style pretty basic. What I like to do with my Sims, because I try to play my game almost as realistic as possible, so I didn't feel like it was very realistic for her to have a lot of outfits. So what I like to do is I like to reuse certain outfits or pieces of the outfits, and I just like make new outfits, but I'll add a different shirt or something. And I also kept her hair pretty simple. I used the 2 hairs that came with the free update that came right before the horse ranch pack came out. I feel like for her hair is super sacred, so I don't believe that she believes in cutting it, but sometimes she does put it up in pigtails to help keep it out of the way. I also was thinking of how, because she lives surrounded by water, I wanted to make sure her outfits kind of looked like she could change out of them really quickly. So I did give her, skirts and almost I don't know, she's in a warm climate, so she doesn't have to be super dressed up. And I feel like she's very active because she's all over the place, looking for collectibles, or she's fishing, or she's swimming from place to place. So I wanted her clothing to be a reflection of that. I don't feel like she wears a lot of makeup. I did, for her formal wear and her party wear, give her some, I think it's foundation or powder on her face. I don't know what it's really called. I don't know too much about makeup, but I also gave her some eyeliner and I think some eyeshadow for her formal wear. I also gave her some leg hair because I don't believe that she cares too much about shaving her legs, and she also has a scar on her chin. I'm not really sure where she got that scar from, but it just made sense that she would have one because she's always swimming all over the place. And if you've ever played in Sulani and you haven't done the little beach cleanup or anything, there is a lot of trash and debris and sometimes even toxic water in Sulani. So I don't know, maybe she was swimming around and she accidentally got cut or something. But I want to also tell you guys what her aspiration and traits are. Even though I just picked random aspiration and traits, they don't really apply to her story that much. But of course, I gave her the family-oriented trait because she is family-oriented, because she wants to have a lot of children. I also gave her the Child of the Islands, I think it's what it's called. I was going to give her the other one that came with the Island Living pack, but because she is going to be making most of her income from fishing, I didn't want her to get sad every time we caught a fish. So I gave her, I think it's the Child of the Islands or something, or she's just deeply connected to the land in Sulani. I also gave her the Loves Outdoors trait because I actually don't plan on building her an official house just yet. I wanted her to feel comfortable being outside because I think she's going to initially spend a lot of time outside before we get around to building a house. But I think we're coming to the end of our video, so I want to thank you so much if you stuck around to the end and you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate you so much for being here with me today, and I hope we can play again another time.